I believe the next tech superpower is not going to be the company which builds the fastest AI. It will be the one which governs it best.
Fast but not furious.
That's right.
European Union AI Act. That's the one that classifies the risk.
Specific AI risk. There are 4 categories.
How do you pattern question?
It's very important to become aware of
Could any leader of any country just read your book and do that? Or does Hong Kong have any special advantage?
In my opinion, Hong Kong has everything what it takes. They have a very good starting point.
Alfons, we have had multiple conversations about AI, but for all our viewers, could you tell me who you are and what you do?
I'm Alfons Futterer, and I believe the next tech superpower is not going to be the company which builds the fastest AI. It will be the one which governs it best.
Governance. So, just before we dive in, could you give me a possible scenario where we govern it in a wrong way or not govern it at all?
A few years ago, Apple and Goldman Sachs were accused of using a biased algorithm in their credit card approval process. So women received a lower credit limit compared to men with identical profile. There was no clear path of validating or finding out the root cause. So that caused a great public backlash and a regulatory probe. Now imagine your own organization's chatbot is rejecting a loan, causing public outcry, a PR disaster. That is an AI governance failure that can be avoided.
So I actually asked you about the future scenarios, but it has already happened.
It happened, yeah.
Governance, for many, is just this mysterious word. But does it differ in any way from regulations, or is it the same, regulations and governance? And what does it really mean, like for people who are not lawyers or in the industry?
Think of AI as a self-driving car. It needs a license. It needs a seatbelt. It needs a brake. Unlike traditional software, AI is learning. It evolves. Therefore, it needs ongoing monitoring. A one-time audit is not enough.
Obviously, AI is transforming industries and our private lives. What trends, in terms of governance, as we are talking about it, do you see as emerging or really interesting in that area?
One, standards like ISO 42001 is emerging. It is like ISO 9001, the famous quality management standard, but it is for AI systems. 2, governments are moving fast. The EU has implemented a risk-based AI Act. US and China are catching up fast. 3rd, AI governance is now a real career path. Companies are hiring for roles such as Chief AI Officer, Chief Regulator, Lead, AI Risk Manager, Model Analyst, as well as AI Policy Advisor, especially across Asia.
You just mentioned the EU, European Union AI Act.
Yes.
That's the one that classifies the risk.
That's correct. From next year onward, according to the EU AI Act, all AI systems which are going to be used in the European Union have to be classified by its specific AI risk. There are 4 categories: not permitted, high risk, limited risk, or minimal or no risk. Based on this EU AI Act, a high-risk system requires a lot of documentation. There must be testing done. There must be an impact assessment done. Everything what AI governance requires is required for a high-risk AI system. And the company will be liable for any wrongdoing at a very high cost. Given the fact of the high development cost of AI systems, organizations definitely want to sell this in highly attractive markets such as European Union. Therefore, even if they are operating or developing the system in a country or location where no regulation is present, they will automatically have to prepare their system so that it will comply with the EU AI Act.
So similarly to CE standards or FDA standards?
In fact, the approval certificate that a system is compliant with the EU AI Act is actually a CE mark.
Oh.
So this is under this regime. There is an existing regime in Europe, and they just use it for this AI system classification, as well as certifying the compliance to it.
You are a tech guy, but then you are also interested in governance and compliance. How do you balance the drive for innovation with the amounting number of pages of compliance documentations and laws that you have to deal with?
The key is to build in guardrails right from the beginning. Think of Formula One racing. Formula One racing cars can drive very fast. The cars can go very fast because the path is clear, the boundaries are clear, and the rules are clear. Without rules, they'd crash. Same with AI. Good governance doesn't slow you down. It helps you to drive safely at top speed. Our approach helps teams to move fast without worrying about breaking something, and then later having to explain everything to regulators.
So fast but not furious.
That's right.
From your experience, what are those risks? What are the most typical scenarios or issues that companies face?
3 mistakes stand out. First, missing risk classification. Basically, treating every AI system as if it is harmless. Second, no human oversight. Basically, who is accountable? Third, ignoring bias testing. One US company deployed an AI resume screener, which penalized women for playing women's sports. Not malicious, but unchecked. Governance can avoid that.
I do not want to ask you whether AI or robots will take our jobs, but what I want to ask you is, what kind of a human skill do you think we need to learn or nurture in order to work with AI more efficiently?
I would say pattern questioning. Ask yourself, how did this AI make that decision? Whether it is Netflix, HR system, or a sales dashboard. Reverse engineering the AI logic sharpens your instincts for students and professionals alike. It builds critical thinking, bias awareness, and leadership credibility.
Pattern recognition, you said.
Yes.
What does it mean? How do I do it?
From a governance perspective, one should understand where is the data stored, where will it be processed, who owns the data, is it biased, is it transparent, is the decision made, is it accurate? Just go back and ask the same prompt to an AI system and see whether it's actually coming up with the same answer. That will already give you an understanding how accurate the system is, how much reliable it is. So that's what I mean, yes.
For me, a private individual, I have no idea what you are saying. So if I want to improve my efficiency with working with AI, how do you pattern question it?
And so I think it's very important to become aware of very critical AI governance questions, which everybody can ask. Where is the data coming from? Who is processing them? Who is guaranteeing to you, the individual user, that the data which is generated, the output, is actually accurate? So these questions are going to be very important and helps you to decide which AI system is trustworthy or not trustworthy.
It seems what you are saying is that working with AI is like working with people. You have to build the trust by asking questions.
That's right.
You run a successful company. What is a small habit that you have developed or that helps you lead effectively in the tech-driven world?
I block 15 minutes every day to study one specific AI governance issue, whether it is a new regulation, a new audit method, or a new best practice. Not just reading the headline, trying to understand the operational impact. It's a small routine, but over time it really compounds to strategic foresight.
So consistency, consistency, consistency.
That's right.
If you were to write a book about AI governance, what would the first chapter be about?
Actually, I just wrote a book.
Oh.
It's called AI Leadership Blueprint, Hong Kong's Path to Global Excellence.
Wow. Where can I buy it?
Well, there are bookshops in Hong Kong. You can buy it. You can also look it up on Amazon.
What's the first chapter about?
The first chapter is an executive summary. Not fluff, but a blueprint for Hong Kong to build trustworthy AI. It explains how Hong Kong need to shift from being a compliance follower to a leader in responsible AI. It draws lessons from the EU AI Act and the ISO 42001, and it lays out a roadmap, including how Hong Kong can lead in Asia by testing new ideas in controlled environments, adopting best practices, and collaborating with key partners. It's a real starting point, grounded in real data.
So a manual to governance success.
Yeah, that's right. In this book, I developed recommendations to the Hong Kong government. Hong Kong could become a prime location for AI system developers, AI system users, and would attract more investment, consequently attract more investment in AI, and would also develop new workforce with a growing number of experts in Hong Kong, which are specialized in AI governance, which will certainly be a sought-after profession. Yeah.
Could any leader of any country just read your book and do that? Or does Hong Kong have any special advantage that other countries do not have?
In my opinion, Hong Kong has everything what it takes. They have a very good starting point. There are already sandboxes in place from HKMA, for example, where system developers can test their ideas in a safe environment. Hong Kong also has implemented a lot of cyber regulations, cyber security. So they have done a lot of effort in order to make Hong Kong a cyber secure place. In my book, I'm proposing a risk-based AI regulation, similar like the EU AI Act, but not only issuing the regulation, but also, similar like Singapore, promoting best practices. Now, best practices is something peculiar. Just talking about best practices, companies may or may not use it. And if you talk about expenses, sure, when you look at the whole, all organizations in Hong Kong, there could be small organizations and large organizations which may want to comply with such a standard. The large organizations, maybe they can be pushed by the government to say, like, you belong to an industry where this is, you are using high-risk systems, and therefore you need to be compliant with this, like self-driving cars, for example. They could be high risk because maybe people can be harmed. Yeah. So by having a compliance requirement for public tenders, for example, would then make sure that a self-driving car system developer will have all the documents available and all the safety measures like human oversight, backup sensors, and continuous monitoring that accidents cannot happen. Mm-hmm. Now, smaller companies, they have trouble maybe to fund this, but that is then probably a public-private partnership model could be applied here, where smaller companies receive funding support from the government to be motivated to comply with this, because ultimately staying ahead of a requirement or the regulations will help these companies to grow faster. As I mentioned, it's like Formula One race. Yeah? If you have all the guidelines and rules are clear, you know everybody is driving in one direction and can drive very fast.
With every guest, I like to set up a challenge for our viewers. If someone wants to lead successfully in tech industry, what daily challenge would you set for them so that they can improve their chance to do that?
Try this. For the next 30 days, every time when you interact with an AI system, a chatbot, maybe a news feed, write down the question, who made the decision and why should I trust it? You will train yourself to see the invisible.
Is there anything I didn't ask, but you would like to add to our conversation?
If I can add one more thing, Hong Kong has all what it takes to lead in AI governance. Strong institutions, global trust, and a strategic location.
Alfons, thank you for sharing your perspective and vision. I wish you a lot of success with your business and your book. And again, thank you for coming over.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. Thank you.